Imagine opening your portfolio and watching 1.35 lakhs shrink all the way down to just 10,000 rupees. Most people would have quit right there, but somehow I stayed in the game and kept going. 4 years later, that same 10,000 rupees would eventually grow into nearly 9 lakh rupees. This is the story of how I got wiped out, nearly gave up, and somehow made it back. Let's rewind to January 2021 when I bought Bitcoin and Ethereum without really knowing what I was doing. Then something crazy happened. In less than a month, my money doubled. And I thought investing might actually be easy. Everywhere I looked, people were talking about crypto, and every day my portfolio seemed to be worth more. By March 2021, my portfolio had grown to around 1.2 lakh and I felt like I had discovered a cheat code. But markets have a way of humbling people, and a few months later, everything started falling apart. Day after day, the losses piled up, and my portfolio eventually dropped from 1.2 lakhs to around 50,000. Even though it hurt, I held on, and by November 2021, the market recovered and my portfolio reached 1.35 lakhs. I remember thinking that maybe I was actually good at investing, and that belief became my biggest mistake. Confidence slowly turned into arrogance, and I started taking risks that I didn't fully understand. That's when I discovered Terra Luna, a project promising huge returns that seemed too good to ignore. Like many investors at the time, I got pulled in and ended up putting a large chunk of my portfolio into it. Then 2022 arrived, the market weakened, and I watched Terra collapse in real time right in front of me. In a matter of days, a project worth tens of billions of dollars effectively disappeared, taking half my portfolio with it. My 1.35 lakh peak was suddenly worth only around 45,000 rupees, and I thought the nightmare was finally over. But the damage spread through the entire crypto industry, and later that year FTX collapsed as well. Bitcoin crashed from nearly $69,000 to around 16,000, and my portfolio kept bleeding until only 10,000 rupees remained. At that point I seriously considered quitting. After everything, 10,000 rupees was all I had left. Instead of walking away, I started studying projects more deeply and eventually found Solana. I invested that remaining 10,000 rupees, added small amounts whenever I could, and patiently waited while everyone else gave up. By January 2025, that investment had grown to nearly 9 lakh rupees, but ironically that success became the beginning of my next mistake. I lost almost all of it, and looking back, it wasn't because I picked bad coins. It was because I fell into a psychological trap that almost every investor falls into at some point. It's January 2025, Trump had just returned to office, crypto was everywhere, Bitcoin and altcoins were flying, and every day my portfolio seemed to hit a new high. Then March happened, tariff announcements shook the markets, everything started falling, and crypto got hit so hard that I watched my portfolio collapse from 9 lakh to around 4.5 lakhs. Fear took over, and because I had put roughly 2 lakh rupees of my own money into the market over the years, I convinced myself that protecting my original investment was the smart thing to do. So I sold 2 lakh rupees worth of crypto, and like many investors before me, I sold almost exactly at the bottom. The market immediately did what markets love to do, it recovered, and over the next few months Bitcoin pushed to new all-time highs while my remaining 2.5 lakh grew back to around 4.5 lakhs. But instead of feeling happy, all I could think about was how my portfolio would have been close to 9 lakh rupees again if I had simply done nothing. Every gain felt disappointing because I wasn't comparing myself to where I started, I was comparing myself to the money I could have had. Then social media poured fuel on the fire, with screenshots of people making life-changing money overnight and influencers constantly promoting the next 100x opportunity. Slowly I stopped investing and started chasing, jumping between random coins, buying things I hadn't researched, and taking trades based on pure emotion instead of conviction. I wanted my 9 lakh rupees back as quickly as possible, but greed disguised as opportunity is still greed, and the market punished me for it. By December 2025, the portfolio that had once touched 9 lakh was worth only about 75,000. I remember staring at the screen wondering how I had managed to turn a life-changing gain into that. As painful as it was, that moment became the lesson I needed because it forced me to stop chasing shortcuts and stop trying to get rich by next week. Instead, I went back to what had worked for me before: research, patience, and conviction, eventually finding one project with strong technology, strong fundamentals, and a real reason to exist. I put my remaining 75,000 into it and promised myself that I would either hold it until the thesis played out or watch it go to zero, with no panic selling, revenge trading, or chasing shiny new coins. Today, that investment is still down 50%, but for the first time in a long time, I'm completely at peace because I've learned that most people don't lose money because the market beats them, they lose money because their emotions beat them, and mine certainly did. Hopefully yours won't. Thanks for watching this video. See you in next one.